I spotted this massive cast iron machine outside a shop in St. Petersburg, Florida. It has a big flywheel, gears, and a two-jaw mouth, and it's roughly 10 feet long. Any idea what this heavy piece of equipment was used for? What you're looking at is an alligator shear number 2 from the Canton Foundry and Machinery Company of Canton, Ohio. These powered shears were built to cut bar, rod, and plate stock. The large flywheel and gear train drive a crank that opens and closes the hinged upper jaw, hence the alligator nickname. The layout matches a United States patent issued December 29, 1914 to A.O. Slentz. That patent introduced a balancing system and a friction spring stop, so the machine would halt with the jaws open after a cut, rather than coasting and cycling again for momentum. My dad found this unusual device at a Goodwill store. It has a crank handle, a row of metal discs, and upright rods that look like guides. We can't figure out what it was made for. Does anyone know its purpose? What you've got is a hand-cranked wave machine used in physics classrooms. Turning the handle spins a shaft with a sequence of offset cams. Those cams lift the lower ends of the vertical rods in order, so the tops trace a smooth, traveling ripple. Crank faster to increase the frequency. The height of the motion shows the amplitude, and the spacing between crests is the wavelength. Teachers use this device to demonstrate traveling waves, reflection at a boundary, and standing waves. With two banks of rods, you can also compare wave behavior in two media, showing why part of a pulse transmits while part reflects when it meets a different section. I spotted these rust-colored metal carts on wheels next to the airport baggage carousel. Each one is loaded with heavy metal blocks and locked with a padlock. What are they used for? What you're seeing is a set of elevator test weight carts. Each cart weighs 100 pounds and carries 8 removable 50-pound blocks. Fully loaded, that's 500 pounds. Technicians roll the carts into the cab, stack the blocks to the target load, and run the elevator to confirm it lifts smoothly and stops where it should. While cleaning out our school's attic, I found a heavy wooden iron machine with a large rotating drum and a big gear wheel. The building dates to the 1890s and was a convent for a time. What you found is a champion hair picker, a mechanical device used to clean and fluff horsehair for mattress and upholstery filling. The operator fed clumps of hair into the front and turned the handwheel. Inside, a large drum studded with metal spikes rotated, combing the fibers apart, shaking out dust and restoring loft so the hair could be reused. The wood and iron frame with a geared drive is typical of shop equipment from the early 1900s. I picked up this wooden desktop gadget at a Pennsylvania thrift store. One end has a round wooden drum with a felt pad and a small fill hole. Across the base, there's a long slanted pad and a pivoting wooden bar that swings over it. On the underside, I could only make out part of the stamp, something like Company Worcester, Mass., along with a patent date from the 1880s. Any idea what this was used for? What you found is a tremulant, also called vox humana, from an old reed organ. Its purpose is to make the wind waver, producing a gentle tremolo that imitates a singer's vibrato, hence the name human voice. Inside the unit, a small spinning fan modulates the air. As it turns, the airflow comes in pulses, so the notes undulate with that characteristic shimmer. I found this small porcelain cup with floral decoration and a vertical slot on the side. There's no handle. The base is marked X1018. What was this little cup used for? What you found is a vintage ceramic postage stamp dispenser for stamps on a roll. Inside, a lid with a small rod holds the roll, and the strip feeds through the vertical slot on the side so you can pull out and tear off a single stamp. I came across this unusual wooden object. It looks about the size of a small club, with a handle and a serrated edge along one side. The top part seems to have a heavier, rounded end. Does anyone know what it is? What you found is an Iroquois war club, a traditional weapon used by the indigenous peoples of North America. These clubs are sometimes referred to as ball-headed clubs because of the heavy, rounded striking head carved at one end. They were crafted from durable hardwoods to endure repeated use in combat. During the 17th and 18th centuries, weapons like this were carried by warriors into battle. They were employed not only in conflicts between native nations, but also during confrontations with European colonists. Beyond their use in warfare, they also held symbolic value. Many were decorated with carvings or embellishments, and some were preserved as heirlooms or given as gifts of honor. While going through an old box of kitchenware from the 1990s, I found this solid metal piece with the letters HMO stamped on it, along with a couple of matching tools. What you found is a vintage nutcracker set. The larger hinged piece with the HMO mark is the nutcracker itself, made to press down and break open the hard shells of nuts such as walnuts or pecans. The V-shaped groove holds the shell steady so it can be cracked cleanly. The two smaller matching pieces are nut picks. After the shell has been broken, these picks are used to reach inside and carefully remove the nut meat without damaging it. While cleaning out my grandfather's attic in Switzerland, I came across this fragile glass piece. It's lightweight, has a round body with a small opening on top, and a thin, curved tube extending from the side. The glass object you found is a traditional neti pot used for rinsing the nasal passages. Its design, a reservoir with a spout shaped to fit into the nostril, allowed it to be filled with a mild saline solution. By tilting the head and letting the liquid flow in one nostril and out the other, it helped clear away dust, pollen, or congestion. This cleansing practice, known as Jala Neti, originates from Indian yoga traditions, where it was considered part of daily hygiene and preparation for breathing exercises. Over time, the method spread beyond India, and by the early 20th century, glass or ceramic neti pots were also found in Europe and the United States, particularly among those interested in natural health and alternative medicine. I recently came across this old cast iron box with the words Came Jr. It measures about 6 inches long, 4 inches wide, and 3 inches tall, and the top can be removed. Does anyone know what this is? What you found is the base of a portable cast iron stove called the Game Jr., manufactured by the Taylor and Boggess Foundry Company of Cleveland, Ohio. The Game Jr. was originally designed as a sad iron heater, a small stove used to warm heavy flat irons for pressing clothes. Housewives and laundresses would place the irons directly on top, so they could heat evenly before ironing. By the late 19th and early 20th centuries, stoves of this kind had become common household items, especially in homes without access to larger wood or coal-burning stoves. Thanks to its compact and portable design, the Game Jr. was also practical for light cooking and heating in rural households. In our Airbnb on the Maryland coast, I found this solid metal frame on wheels with a curved top section. It looks like it was built to support something heavy, but I can't figure out what. Does anyone know what it is? What you've discovered is the lower frame of a designer bar cabinet modeled after a ship's porthole. The rounded section on top was made to support the circular cabinet body, giving it a nautical look. These cabinets are considered high-end furniture pieces, and a complete set can sell for several $1,000s. I found these brass and glass pieces about 12 inches tall. Are they tiny oil lamps, or were they made for something else? Does anyone know what they are? What you found are spring-loaded candlesticks, not oil lamps. The small metal wick is a cap. Unscrew or lift it off. Drop a slender taper into the tube, then replace the cap. Inside, a spring with a follower pushes the candle upward as it burns, keeping the flame near the top. The glass chimney shields the flame from drafts and gives the piece its lamp-like look. I found 2 heavy mirror-image cast iron pieces with ornate cutouts. Each one has 2 feet with screw holes and an arched profile. Any idea what these were made for? What you found are the cast iron side frames from a vintage school desk. They're shown upside down here. In the original setup, a wooden bench seat was mounted across the front of each pair, and the writing surface for the next pupil was positioned behind it. The screw holes in the feet were used to fasten the frames to the floor and to the wooden parts of the desk. I came across this small white pot with a red cross on the top. It has a short spout on one side, a handle on the other, and an open top. What you found is an invalid cup, a spouted feeding cup for bedridden patients. Caregivers poured in broth, milk, or tea, and the patient sipped through the short spout while reclining. The handle and wide opening made it easy to fill and clean, and the angled spout helped control the flow to reduce spills and choking. Cups like this were standard ward equipment before World War I and in some places into World War II. The Red Cross emblem suggests hospital or relief service use. In the last video, I asked you to identify this wire object with a wooden handle, shaped like a rooster with a heart in the middle. This item is a rug beater, an old household tool used for cleaning dusty rugs. I really appreciate everyone who shared their guesses in the comments. It helps the video reach more people and allows the channel to grow. Now I want to invite you to identify another unusual object. It's made of wood with a metal tip that turns and pops out a bit, but it doesn't separate from the body. What do you think it's used for? Leave your guesses in the comments and I'll reveal the answer in the next video. Thanks so much for watching all the way to the end. I hope you found it interesting. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and consider subscribing. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm and lets more people discover the channel. Thanks again, and see you next time.